Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. And y'all saw the thumbnail. I was as shocked as you guys. Um, Terence Crawford is suing Bob Arum. I wonder what happened. But first, let's turn to. Welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. As y'all saw in the thumbnail, Terence Crawford is suing Bob Arum. And it came as a shocker to me. I really don't know what's going on. I can speculate, but I don't know. I always do a water check. I don't have my empty bottle in front of me. I'm at 9 today. I'm slacking on my pimping. That means I drank 72 ounces of water today. But I will chug a couple of them before the night is through. Eric Gomez is in the building with the bomb squad. What's popping, King? So, as I'm reading this article, I'm like, what the hell going on? What what did Bob do to Terence Crawford? Now, I can speculate all day long, but I don't really, and I'm being honest, I don't know why this happened. It actually took me by surprise. It shouldn't, because I'm sure Terence was holding his tongue for a long time. We all agree, even Spence fans, Terence fans, a lot of us agree, especially if you're a person of the African American race and you're a boxer fan. We definitely agree that maybe Terence shouldn't have signed with Bob. Mine's have nothing to do with the money and what he was getting paid and all that stuff. Not really. I don't really, like I said, I don't really concentrate on that. But it was more so Bob's attitude towards black fighters. We have known for years that Bob doesn't put value in black fighters. All you gotta do is look at the many black fighters or people of color who left him. Bob picks his favorites. Right now, this is in the boxing world. It seems like this the Mexican season. And if you Mexican, you're gonna catch all kinds of favors, concessions, whatever. They have nothing to do with this situation particularly, but I'm just telling you the atmosphere around boxing. Why this happened, and I'm gonna throw my speculation out before I tell the actual facts. I think that there was a concerted effort that to nullify Terence Crawford in his career. I think Bob collects young black fighters so that he could control them, so that they don't disrupt the plans of him and his cronies or his friends or whatever. Um, we would think that Al Heyman, Bob, and Eddie and Oscar, and maybe even Mayweather. I don't include Mayweather in this group, but we would think that they all have an issue with each other. And they probably do, but they come together at sometimes. They're in unison at sometimes. And that is to say, sometimes when if they want to downgrade a fighter, or put them in a box, so to speak, the other promoters will join in. Why? Because they don't have access to that fighter. They can't control that fighter. They're not making money off that fighter anyway. Two, that fighter could derail what they got going on with their personal fighter. So it's to their advantage, or it makes smart business sense to join in the reindeer games with Bob Arum. Bob does it because he simply just don't value black fighters. He might put you on the card, but when you getting pennies on the dollar, that ain't saying much. You know what I'm saying? He might have a card where because I've heard some say, well, at least when he do a card, he put a lot of fighters on it, whereas all the rest of them is always just Mexican. A white person here and there, a black person maybe here and there, but it's Mexican. Because they seem to think that's all people want to see. We want to see fighters, regardless of their race, creed, religion, or whatever. We want to see fighters that's going to get it in and go to war. That's is a warrior sport, and that's what we signed up for. To all my Facebookers, let me stop and pause and say, what's up? Come on into the YouTube and interact with the chat. Smash the like button when you come in, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Do that favor for me. Stop what you're doing and smash that like button. But, Bob is peculiar. I mean, is it a good strategy? I guess for him. Because let's say in Terrence's situation, he had Pacquiao, he had Loma, and he had Terrence. Those were the three top dogs that Bob had as of late. He don't have Terrence no more, and Pacquiao's retired. But at one time, he had all three of them, right? Which one is he going to favor? Of course, he'll be a dumbass if he doesn't favor Pacquiao. Now, he will go on to say Bud always made him lose money. But if there's some channels out there, namely Barbershop Conversation, that kind of broke down how these promoters get their money from the networks. I don't see how you lose money. The networks give plenty of money for a fight card, and it's up to Bob to disseminate the money, and all the money that's left, Bob get the keep. So when you see a Bob Arum card, it's strictly top rank up and down the line. That way he don't have to share the leftovers. Bob is a shrewd businessman. But if that's what you're going for and that's what you're trying to do, then I guess he winning. But it does a disservice to the fighters. He always put Pacquiao up on top, and Pacquiao was the legacy fighter. Pacquiao earned his stripes, so to speak, because he's the 8th division world champion, or was. He's retired now. But when it was Bob having Lomachenko, Pacquiao, and Terence caught the low end of the stick. Because in Bob's mind, Pacquiao is money guaranteed. Lomachenko is what he probably preferred to invest in, and Crawford was just a tool to control his narratives and make sure that Crawford don't come in and derail whatever he had going on. Boxing matchups, Dwayne Freeman, salute, Miss T. My bad about yesterday. My phone died. You good, King? It's all love over here. So I'm sitting here like, we all knew that everybody had their different reasons why Bud shouldn't have signed with Bob. For me, it was Bob's attitude towards black people. It had nothing to do with what he got paid, because I don't care. Whatever a man make, he make. Whatever a woman makes, she make. It ain't they ain't cutting me in on it, so I don't care. But his attitude towards black people, or the value or lack thereof that he placed in black people, is why I was a proponent of nobody black, especially, signing with Bob. He does it, to me, strictly to control you so you don't derail his progress. So if Lomachenko was at 135, and I don't think he was when Bud was there, go figure. But if he was at 135 and Bud was at 135, and Bud had fought for, let's say, Eddie Hearn, or maybe Bud was with PBC or whoever, then Lomachenko would have got dusted. Everybody know that. Some people might not know it, or some people might not feel it, but I feel Bud would have washed Lomachenko easily. But, by Bob scooping up Terence, he don't got to worry about that dude derailing whatever investment he chose to put in Bud. Bob never promoted him. We never saw commercials. I never heard it on the radio. Like if they was coming near or any, I just never saw anything. Not until the fight week with the press conference and the pictures that they take so they can hang the banner up behind them. Never saw anything from Bob. So what work did he do? Did Terence Crawford really need him? I will stand here and say no. He did not need him. But, that was his promoter. Now, we could say, Terence, you should have opened your mouth or whatever. We could say however we say. This man got to drive that boat. Speaking of Terence Crawford, he has to drive that boat. And he got to drive it however he feels it needs to be driven. Now, how it come out in the wash, that's all up to them. I ain't getting the cut. I ain't worried about it. PGH Big Dog is in the building. Salute, Queen T. Salute to you too, King. So when I read this article that Terence is suing him, I'm like, what? What happened? Smash the like button as y'all come in. Smash it. Jump on it. Sit on it. I was like, well, what could have went on? So I'm speculating. This is not confirmed. I don't get to talk to Team Crawford at all. I think that some of the things that Bob has done over the years was strategically done to hurt him, especially towards the end of his career with Top Rank, which we know he severed that after the Porter fight. In that last year, Bob talked down on Terence bigger than before. He told him he's losing money. But if I give you an example of, if you go to whatever network and they give you $500 million to put on a card, and your top guy is getting $4 million, that's your top guy. And maybe his opponents are getting the same, or a little less, or a little more. Then how are you losing money, Bob? But, we don't know. I always looked at it like slander. It do seem like when a person signed with a promoter that on their way out the door, if they still riding high and their star is still rising, that promoter try to trash them. Not just Bud, that could be anywhere. It is a good idea, probably, to, if you can help it, not sign with a promoter. Get a manager, or somebody outside the big one was 1, 2, 3 out the big five, and I'm talking about TMT, BBC, Bob Arum, Oscar, and Eddie Hearn. I said this before. The one thing I can say about Eddie Hearn, you never ever hear his fighters talking about they ain't get paid or they dissatisfied with their pay. You never hear that. Everybody else gonna have to eat a dick. But with Eddie Hearn, his fighters, they become rich, well off, whatever. They make good invest. They're not dissatisfied with the pay. PGA's big dog said, "I'm proud of Bud. Arum is trash, but why just 10 million?" That threw me off too, PGH. I was like, is he aiming low? But I'm gonna tell y'all, Bud is a strategic person. If you ever met him and you was up on him, in close proximity of him, he's a strategic person. And I don't say that in a negative way. I say that in a survival type way. I sense that about him. Bud doesn't do a whole lot of stuff that people wish he probably do, because guess what? I recognize in him that he recognized that what other people do or can do, it doesn't work for him. He played the game he could play. It don't matter what game they play. You play your game. That's the prevailing wisdom. You never get off your square no matter what somebody else is doing. And Bud strikes me as a person like that. He does. Very quiet, serene, very confident, very fan friendly. He's a good dude. And I met him twice. Same thing. You know what I'm saying? Terence could be a whole lot. He could be a thugged out, crazy dude. Nope. Everybody's like, why you ain't cursing Bob out when he shitted on you right on camera in front of everybody and you standing next to him? Some people that you can turn around tit for tat and that works for you. Some people it does not work for. Bud had, I keep calling him Bud. Bud had a strategy all along, and that's the only thing I can think of. PGH big dog sue Bob dirty ass for 100 million. He robbed Bud for years. Yeah. I think now I told y'all in the previous video that y'all should take note of the fact, do y'all notice, or is it just me, that Bob is starting to put more people on that goddamn app? Is it just me? Because I'm noticing that too. If you think about it, Bob got Tyson Fury. He always had Lomachenko, who's never done a pay-per-view, but Bob pays him well. Okay. Now they trying to hide, nowadays they try to like lowball and say, oh, Lomachenko only get this much. Bullshit. I looked up Lomachenko's network when he was 7 fights in or something. He didn't have that many fights. And the only reason I looked up about him because I wanted to profile him, because the talk of the town at that time was that here's the guy that could wash motherfucking Mayweather. He's better than Mayweather. And I was like, ooh, this dude, who? So I looked him up and I wound up coming across what his net worth was at the time. He was 7 fights in. And I'm telling you, I will never forget this. And I hope somebody else did it back then to corroborate my story. I never thought that I would have to, need some corroboration on that story. Because I was just thumbing through looking up Lomachenko, and this motherfucker was worth $25 million then. Where you get it from, if not Bob? A person who's never, ever had a pay-per-view. ATL, Unanimous Boxing Sports, is in the building. What's popping, King? Just stopping through. Salute, Queen. Thank you very much, sir. I swear to you, I'm not making this up. That is the only reason I looked him up. And because they said that shit about him, it kind of turned me off. And I never became no big time Lomachenko fan. I don't hate Lomachenko. I don't dislike him. And I look at his fights, but I would never pay to see him fight. And thank God he never been on pay-per-view. But because they try to compare him to Floyd and say that dumb shit, I meant I won't go like him. Because not only do they say that bullshit, but some fighters, when they lie about you and you play into it, I hold you accountable just as much as the person who lie about you. It depends. So for me, it's a turn off. You're not better than Floyd Lomachenko ever. Don't even hold a candle. But at the time, he was seven or eight fights in, something like that, and he was worth 25 million. Now, when you look up Lomachenko, he's not worth that much. Really? I saw it. I saw it. I can't prove it. I wish I'd have took a snapshot then, but I can't prove it. That's why he's so quiet. Bob got this thing that black fighters should automatically play a villain. He know it's bad for business. It don't always work for everybody. It worked for Floyd. And I always say, what's for Floyd is for Floyd. It can't be for everybody else. So Terence Crawford running around acting like the Charlos or acting like Floyd is not a recipe for success for him. It's not his character. The man can only be him. But yet we had to put a jacket on this man all his career. You ain't doing this. You ain't doing that. You ain't doing enough here. It's always he not doing enough. Now, true enough, like I said, along with everybody, I didn't want him to sign with Bob. And it ain't had nothing to do with the money and everything to do with how this white man feels about black fighters. Don't put your life in somebody's hand that don't value you. That's just my motto. And Bob doesn't value black fighters. So when I read this story that Terence has filed a lawsuit against Bob Arum, one, I don't know the whole play, and I can guess and think the whole play through, but I don't know it. My guess of why he doing it is probably because he Bob is probably throwing monkey wrenches in his shit even now. I think when Terence made the clean break from Bob when he fired his ass after after the Porter fight, I think Terence made a clean break. I don't think Bob did, because if you look at a lot of Bob interviews, he keep talking like him and Terence Crawford are in business together. That's why a lot of people in the beginning were saying, are they, separated now? Are they done with each other or are they not? Because Bob's like, hey, the Josh Taylor, hey, if you come over here, I got Josh Taylor for you. That's what he keeps saying. I don't know what he did to Terence. I don't know if Terence, when he made that separation, was he going to ride off into the sunset and mind his business and keep it pushing? I really don't know. My guess is that, in light of that last statement that Tim Smith put out, I think Bud is realizing how much damage Bob really did to him. Everything Bob is saying about Terence or has said about Terence is echoed by other promoters. Terence don't have a network. And people like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Some people are made for business. Some people can be businessmen, and some people can't. Some people is better off just working for somebody and getting their check. We can hold that against them or not. I don't hold that against nobody. If you rather work for somebody, that's what you do. As long as you get paid adequately. If you ready to do your own thing, then that's what you do. As long as you get paid adequately. But what's adequate to you may not be adequate to others, and vice versa. So we can't call it. So I think Bob has been secretly behind the scenes because he wants Terence to fight Josh Taylor. So how do you get Terence to fight Josh Taylor? Well, if Terence can't get a fight with Earl, because the PBC has no value in him either, and Eddie Hearn has already put out that there's nothing he could do for Terence. And then you're not gonna go to Oscar, and you're probably not gonna go to Floyd. So you have essentially been boxed and put on the shelf. But hey, ding ding ding, I got this carrot over here. That's Bob. I got this carrot over here, Terrence. And his name is Josh Taylor. Now I could pay you pretty good if you and them two meet up. But maybe Bob feel like Josh can beat Terrence. Maybe this is his way of throwing him to the wolves, like he threw Pacquiao to the wolves when he went down there to fight Jeff Horn. I'm not sure why a lot of fighters don't see this shit coming, but they better open their eyes and this, that, and the other and start paying attention. So he filed the lawsuit against Bob. The grounds of the lawsuit is racial bias. Why he filed it? Because he feel that Bob kept him from big fights and making many millions of dollars. I'll drop the link. Okay, I got you, player. Let's see. The phone line's open too. So that's the grounds for the you shitted on him to the point where he couldn't make millions of dollars, considering the top echelon fighter that he is. The amount he's suing for is $10 million. And he filed it in Nevada on Wednesday, I'm assuming today. And Arum is, of course, either acting like he's shocked or he really is shocked, But Bob blames Terence Crawford, talking about he failed to market himself. Well, you the motherfucking promoter. You are in charge of marketing. What's up, King?
Miss T, what's going on with you?
Nothing much. I'm shocked about this news.
What news? What you cooking on?
Terence Crawford suing Bob Arum.
What happened?
He filed the lawsuit today. I'm assuming it's today or last Wednesday, where he filed the lawsuit stating that Bob Arum purposely kind of kept him from making millions and millions of dollars by not trying to promote him, and the grounds was because Bob is racially biased.
Oh,
y'all know that shit is true. How he gonna prove it in court? I don't know, because those type of shit, they very hard to prove. You got to have something tangible.
What made him just come up with that? I don't want to say come up with that, but like, how did that just pop up? Like, what made him just all of a sudden just
feel like he needed to sue him? That your guess will be as good as mine. I started off by saying I'm gonna speculate. I'm gonna ride or die hard forever.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Only thing I can think is that Terrence is now free, right?
Yeah.
Terrence come out of his shell a little bit. At first it was, you don't say nothing, you don't get on social media. Then he goes on and start trying to talk shit, and he's in the water, but even that's not good enough. It's not really him to do that type stuff, but he's trying to, right? He probably just now realizing that all of these promoters are in unison. If Bob said he ain't shit, and now Tim Smith said what he said the other day, he basically said Terrence ain't shit. He kept trying to clean it up. And then Eddie Hearn said, I ain't got nothing for you. I mean, you're not a draw. All of them saying the same thing, but yet this man, for the past, 5 years or so, been number one or number two pound for pound globally.
So you a Bud fan too, or you Bud or EJ?
I'm a Bud fan. I always liked EJ.
Okay.
But his fans make it impossible for me to stay on.
Yeah, they do.
Train. I don't dislike EJ, but
you just more a Crawford fan.
Right. I was like a Crawford when he was back in 135. EJ was in 147. I liked them both.
Yeah.
I played the middle for a long time. I gave each one the benefit of the doubt. Everybody's critical of what Bud said. Everybody's critical of what EJ say. I was like, man, I never seen no shit like this.
So with that being said, what you think now though?
I think
as far as everything, all the speculation, everything that's going on, what you think now?
I don't think that Bud and EJ is gonna fight this year.
I don't think so.
It angers me because I have been.
I'm just saying why you don't think they gonna fight though? Like they had an easy deal, but why you don't think they're gonna fight now?
At this point, my conclusion was EJ ducking. That was my final conclusion.
EJ Duggan?
That's what I said. Yo. You know, yo, I know Dwayne don't agree with me, but this is why I said it. All the hoopla back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what Bud, how he tried to come into the division. He wanted EJ. He wanted all of them. They didn't want him. They directed him to Jeff Horn. He went to Jeff Horn. And then the narrative became, you could have picked anybody, but why you picked Jeff Horn? And then after a while, you keep hearing these narratives, and it was like, damn if he do, damn if he don't. Mm-hmm. Wasn't when they met up after that one fight where EJ had the red on and Bud had all black, and Bob was there too. Then he said, "Let me clean up my side of the street. And he named Sean Porter specifically. At the time,
Who you talking about? You talking about EJ?
Mm-hmm. He named him specifically at the time.
But I'm saying, I know about the past, but I'm talking about like far as right now, like far as this is my opinion. This is my opinion. It's not no facts. You know what I'm saying? This is just my opinion. Like the only reason that this is my opinion. The only reason I actually think 60-40 is fair is for the simple fact that I fuck with both of them. They both got talents that bring a lot of numbers, you know what I'm saying, to the boxing right now. That should have turned boxing up all the way. But I think 60-40 is an equal split, because I know what Terence Crawford did before he came into 147. You know what I'm saying? But EJ done worked his way to where he got the kind of upper hand because he has 2 belts. Right. He has 2 belts. Terence Crawford has 1. I know Terence Crawford is a great boxer. He done did stuff in all his divisions before he got to 147. But at 147, Earl Spence got 2 straps and you have 1. So 60-40 should be a great split. It shouldn't be no issue to that. I got 2 belts, you got 1. What's 60-40? That's like perfect total numbers far as numbers and how the fight should go, because I got 2 belts and you got 1. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
A good opinion. To Dwayne, to everybody, I have never argued or debated anybody on the split because I don't get into that.
Yeah.
All I know is it used to be they meet somewhere, they hash out a deal after the fight. Then we find out what the purse is and what and all this stuff.
You talking about back in the day?
Well, I'm talking about even as of recent. If you look at, do we hear anything about Sean Porter and Spence purse? Anything? Nope. To after the fact. Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence? Nope. After the fact. Danny Garcia and Errol Spence? Nope. After the fact. Some kind of way, their business, which shouldn't be ours, got put in the court of public opinion. And once that happened, all hell break loose, because you can speculate, I can speculate, everybody can speculate. And then at the end of the day, like you're a grown man, right? Yeah. So who's gonna tell you what you say your value is?
And that's why I say it's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I can't get on here and be yelling at people, and because it's an opinion, you know what I'm saying? But what I do know is they need to get this shit together, because this shit getting lame, and it ain't like back in the day when nigga used to be excited about the fight. Oh yeah, we know Mayweather from the fight, such and such. Got Holyfield from the fight. Mike Tyson from the fight. We had the excitement, like it was like, yeah. I ain't doing that this weekend. We're finna watch the Tyson fight. We're finna watch Roy Jones. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no social media and all that. So
I understand we're living in different times. But
that's when it was fun. Like when everybody stepped in the ring, everybody wanted to fight each other. It was exciting, man. Like
that's fighting the best.
And I just wanted to get back to that point. I ain't trying to downgrade nobody. I ain't trying to talk shit about nobody. And I just want to be equal, man. I want everybody to do what's right and let these people fight. That's what you signed up for. You box and you fight. Let these people fight, man. I don't give a damn about a zero or nothing. I ain't care about the shit back then. Evander Holyfield was goddamn banging George Foreman, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones.
Yep.
They wasn't scared to get in the ring. It wasn't about no damn zero.
And
Didn't
guess
nobody care about no zero.
and guess what? Eh, You can look at plenty of videos when I did, because I'm only recently talking about them too, like on a bigger scale, but I barely try to talk about them. I even said, I don't care if it's 90-10, Earl Favor. I don't care if it's 80-20, Earl Favor. I actually say Earl got 2 belts. Crawford got 1. Earl is the A side. I actually say that. I can't be no more fair than that.
Yeah,
I,
you
what I
can't.
won't do,
You can't though.
what I won't do is count another man's pocket. They always tell you,
Nah.
if you value yourself, you cannot never let anybody tell you what your value is. That's why it should have been done in private, because now everybody has a say or want to have a say.
Yeah.
In Earl Spence, you have never done your business like that before. Crawford has never done his business like that before. But why, when y'all two meet, that's how the business got to be in the court of public opinion. Why? Because we know
I can't explain that one.
clash. They gonna
What I do know, they'll make a lot of money, and a lot of people be happy at the outcome, either or, and
Mhm.
we'll still rock with either one of them, either or.
But you see what Tim Smith said the other day. He said pretty much Bud don't have no value. I'm paraphrasing.
That's what they say. I don't believe that.
Now
I
I
believe
don't
I
them.
believe this to be one of the biggest fights next to goddamn Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, and I make the point that okay, Canelo and Bud have been interchangeably 1 and 2 for the last, like I said, about 5 years. They was either 1 or 2. They switch a lot. Canelo Alvarez just got undisputed, but before that, he was just a 4 division world champion. Bud was a 3 division world champion. They
I
are
used to
both
mess with Canelo too
undisputed. Huh?
hard. I said
Do
I
it.
used to mess with Canelo too hard before I found out he was using
Yeah, that top.
whatever the hell, the enhancing stuff, whatever they
Yeah,
be doing.
because he'll gas out if he ain't had that. But they both kind of have the same record. Canelo is edging Bud at this point because he's 4 division, not 3, like
Yeah,
Bud. However, you wrote Canelo never fought with the PBC until he did. And when he did come, you gave him 40 million. Now they'll say, oh, his pay-per-view. We have lowered the bar on what the great pay-per-view numbers should be. Because remember when Floyd was in the game, Floyd was doing like what, 2 million? He was up there, or a million.
probably more than that. Ain't no
Yeah.
telling.
Floyd, if you look up the top 5 pay-per-view, it's probably Floyd. You know what I'm
Far
saying?
as, far as that category, Floyd the king in that.
But when Floyd left, look what people say. Oh, 250 is a good number. 300 is a good number. That's a tremendous drop. Canelo hasn't even broke a million. But
I think Canelo get like 30 million to fight or something like that.
got $40 million to fight Caleb Plant last fight.
Yeah.
And
I'm
Caleb,
talking about, but he get at least 30 million to fight.
and he been getting that for a minute, right?
About shit.
With
Yeah, for about 5 years.
He been getting that for a minute. Bud and him,
I think he signed $100-something million deal. Like,
and then he had to back out
before
that
that.
contract or something. Something went down with that contract, and he had to do it like a do over or something. Either way, he out like
I'm
you
still
said,
here. I had a term
30
came
million
off for a
plus.
minute.
Okay, 30 million plus um a
I
fight.
ain't gonna throw any.
So in the end of the day, if Bud and him got such a similar record,
That'll be a great fight too, though.
Bud he said that's the only way y'all can give me my respect if I beat Canelo.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what though. Not even on no bullshit. Like, if that was to pop out tomorrow, like Terence Crawford versus Canelo,
Mm.
that shit, goddamn, motherfuckers will get on that shit if it just came out like that. 'Cause regardless, that'll be a good fight.
That would be
And that'll be something that that'll be a fight that everybody will want to see.
yes, man.
It don't matter about who win or lose. it don't matter about. We just want to see the fight.
I
That's
definitely
it.
want to see the fight. I'll
You know
pay
what I'm saying?
$50 to see the fight on TV.
Straight up, I would too. Just
Yeah,
because they stepped in that motherfucker. Because there's a lot of people that ain't even just stepping in the ring, man, and this was fucking boxing up. They thinking they making it more about money and promotion and this and that, man. Fuck all that fight.
but I mean, tell me what you think of this. If the PBC can give Canelo his first fight with the PBC, $40 million for a fight, you can't give Bud 5 or 10. These two got similar records. It don't make sense that y'all could give Bud $5 or $10 million. You all right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good.
That's how I look at it. They got similar records. You said he has no value. You said we can't. You didn't even talk to him. This is you speculating. I'm talking about Tim Smith. He has no value. We just can't pay him what he used to
Who who,
pay.
who is Tim Smith? I don't know who that is.
He's the vice president at PBC.
Uh,
So Al Heyman know he said that. And then I asked a question like this too. If Al Heyman knows he said that, because I mean, I doubt if you could be the vice president, come out and say that, and your head guy don't know. If PBC feel like Bud ain't worth it, wouldn't you think that they would tell everybody under the PBC banner who could potentially fight Bud? That means Earl is in the know that PBC don't value him and don't want to set up a fight with him because they don't think that it'll draw money.
on whose behalf though?
Oh, they just saying Terence Crawford is pretty much not a winnable.
Yeah, he ain't selling a fight. He ain't selling pay per views.
That's what they're saying. But Earl and Terrence would be a big ass fight.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna do nothing. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
But
We all know what the hell going on.
yeah, but
We
that's what
got more people that's gonna support that shit than anybody. So our numbers alone make that fight do numbers. So
they're saying. So I
they'll
was
try, they'll, they, they'll try to downplay it, but you can't because what they say numbers don't lie.
And in this suit that Terrence filed, Bob's response was, "Look, I tried to get the fight with Earl. He said they both. So I ain't caking for Terrence or anything like that. Bob said they both, meaning Earl and Terrence, wanted too much money. They deserve it. That's why Bob wouldn't make the fight. Then you got to ask Bob why you didn't make the fight with Pacquiao. He was in my stable.
Shit, he made the Wilder fight.
Because he got Tyson. And he
Mhm.
lost money with Tyson. And if the networks give a promoter 500, I'm just giving a number, 500 million, and they say go put together a card. Now you got like 15 fights on that card. It's gonna be the top 4 that make it to TV. Your top guys is getting 2 and 3 million per fight, what the top ranked fighters do, right? So everybody under them is getting less. It don't cost that much to put that show on, to rent the venue, to get the camera crew and all that. What happened to the other hundreds of millions of dollars? So how are you losing money with Bud if that's how it works?
Yeah,
Bud probably was like, okay,
I was sitting there listening. I was just like, oh, he just gonna let it just fly by. Oh, okay.
that's it.
He
Yeah,
didn't say nothing,
Bud,
right?
yeah,
Am
Bud,
I lying?
nah, he never said nothing when Bob was shitting on him in front of his face. But he could be that type of dude. Haven't you met people that just real quiet, don't say much? My dad
I,
is like,
uh, I lost my whole basketball career to racism, so I don't take well to it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I,
that's
I have to say something.
who can you talk
I
about it?
respect others. I'm not racist or nothing, but I lost my career for that. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
just it is what it is.
Who you played for?
No, no college or nothing. I was on my way. I
Um,
was in high school, and some racial stuff happened, and I got thrown off for a year and a half because I couldn't go to the school in the county. I ain't had nowhere else to stay, so
mm,
it
mm.
went elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You say you be housing it on the court, or
yeah, yeah. I used to be on the court, man, heavy.
how How tall are you? Like what? 6?
6'3".
Okay. Okay. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. I used to play in high school too. I love basketball back then.
Yeah.
I was
When I
pretty
got when that got took away from me, I had to go elsewhere. But
find something else, right?
yeah, I'm good now though.
That it don't never leave you, right? It
Mm-mm.
it, it just and that's the only thing I can say. I'm not making no excuses for Bud. That's all I like to say is it don't never leave you. He probably feeling a certain way. He probably was fed up. Bud is a Libra. He acts just like one too. I know because I'm one. He acts just like Libras can get quiet. They don't say nothing, but whenever they ready to strike, they gonna strike. And believe me, they gonna dot every I and cross every T. But would it work to his favor? Bud is worried that in doing this suit, he worried about what's gonna happen to fighters behind him, but also to him. Because it's one of them things like, oh, you suing promoters now? Well, we don't want to touch you like other promoters.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I ain't
think
even hear nothing about that.
I think Bud got enough money where he need to put on his own show. A lot of people suggest that a lot of these fighters they need to put value in them, put stock in their self, and go
They
put
need
on
to fight.
a card.
They just need to fight. Get out these contracts and fight. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, and look, who was it that said it today? Damn, you heard TGB said at the Porter Crawford fight. Somebody else was saying that today. Damn, I'm mad that I missed. I can't remember the name of the person. But he basically was saying if the fighters want to fight, the fight will happen. So when we always saying what we blaming the promoters, we blaming this, we blaming all that, they basically trying to say it's the managers are they say it's the fighters that be stopping the fight for whatever reason. Maybe they got a legit reason. I don't know. But all of this stuff smell fishy. The fact that they had to pay Stanionis step aside money. I did, you guys in the chat smash the like button. I did go. I tried to. I try to catch the guy's channel where he got the video up because I can't get to the video. I'm not that great with finding shit on the internet. But I promise
Yeah.
you neither.
Mm.
I promise you, when I find them shits, I'm gonna have that bitch on loop in here, like playing all the time. That shows how we know Keith sent them elsewhere. We know Keith was giving
Yeah.
the palm to everybody. He gave it to Earl as well, but people don't think that Earl gave Bud the stiff arm. I swear I gotta find them shits, and I'm gonna play it on loop.
Just on loop. But yeah, man, I'm finna get out here. My son just woke up. I'm finna feed him.
Oh, how old is your little man?
Yeah, 5.
Oh, look, well,
Yeah.
days, you got a long time ahead of you. You
Yeah, hopefully. I'm here. I'm here. This world crazy. You don't ever know.
no. We just put that in the atmosphere.
Hey, it is what it is. Shit, I'm
Young,
comfortable with it. It is what it is.
I don't do stuff like that. Hey, young king, you good? Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate
All,
it.
all right, I'm gonna stop through, man.
All right, I appreciate it.
I'm
Peace.
gonna holler at you.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the worry for Bud. I mean, but if you feel you got to do something, you guys got to stand up for yourself. I'm proud of Bud for standing up for himself and betting on himself. I don't know how nothing gonna turn out. We could be looking at the end of his career because if he get blackballed, he get blackballed. I mean, he is a great fighter. I ain't gonna talk about him in the past. Like he was a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He's standing up for himself. Like I said, I can only speculate as to what happened. I think Bob's overreach is still overreaching into his career. And I think that probably pissed Terrence off. If Terrence felt like he made a clean break with Bob and Bob is still overreaching because I'm telling you, in the last couple of months, Bob keep hollering about that goddamn Josh Taylor fight. Well, Bob, if Terrence and you don't work together no more, why the fuck is you keep pushing Josh Taylor? And if nobody will fight Terrence or he can't, he can't get what he want, then the carrot is dangled. And then you don't want to pay this man. But you can justify paying Canelo 40 million. And their record is almost one and the same. Now people be like, well, Canelo edged him. I said that. I want to be clear with that. As of right now, even though Canelo's a cheat, I put no credence in him. But he has edged Bud because he's a 4 division champion. Bud is a 3 division champion. And he has undisputed and Bud has undisputed. But still, 40 million for Canelo. We crying about 4 million for Bud. They have not sat down and negotiated. I did not find anything. I'm optimistic about finding more stuff. I want to see the proof of the only thing that could change my mind. Let me put it this way: as my stance on Bud Crawford and Errol Spence right now is proof that Errol and Ugas had a contract before the WBA ordered Ugas to be in the box office. I need proof. That's the only way. I need clarity on that. Number one. Number two, the proof that the videos that I told y'all I just saw, I don't want to play nobody's channel on my channel unless I ask permission. Until I get that permission, all I can do is try to look for that video. So I don't got that permission yet, but I'm working on it. But of note on this Bob Arum and Terence Crawford, Terence putting the suit in, Keith Thurman said, I'll be your Huckleberry. I'll fight you in the summer. We already know that Keith has said that. I think what messed us up about Keith saying that is the fact that he said, I'll do it in 8 months. This was a while back. If you're in here, smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. In other news, anywho, let's move on. Pedraza versus Ramirez. That fight has been postponed from February 5th to March 4th. It's a top-ranked card. It's at Save Mart Center, Fresno, California. It's going to be shown on ESPN app, the ESPN Plus app. Now, as I told y'all, weeks. Now, I don't even want to say weeks ago. Episodes ago. You know, I told y'all, take note on certain subtle changes. Bob Arum is using the hell out that app now. He never used it before. Remember, I noted that in one of my broadcasts. I said Bob Arum is showing that he's going to put his fighters on this ESPN Plus app. Now, either it could be a pay-per-view or you just have to go to the app to watch it, and it's a subscription. So you have to pay whatever you pay a month to subscribe. I bought it for the Crawford fight, and I wound up getting the bundle, which came with Disney and Hulu. And I got it with no commercials. So that's what I got. He put Brown fight on there and Better BL. He's about to put Pedraza and Ramirez. He's putting another fight on there. I wonder what got into Bob. Why now is this app you starting to use it? You launched the app, and they can say, oh, it's for Terrence or whatever, but you launched the app for your fighters, but you only put Terrence on it, and it's not a fan-friendly fight, a fan-friendly app. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse why Terrence don't get as many sales as others. I'm just saying that the app is not fan-friendly. I personally don't want ESPN Plus. I don't look at shit else on there. So far, I've looked at 2 fights on that damn thing. And them shits costing me about, $19 a month or something like that. And I don't look at shit on there. I'm not a big on football. I ain't hating on football. I just don't look at it. I don't look at back. I don't know what else they put on there. My sport of choice is boxing. And why do I have to get another motherfucking app? That's like me trying to go get Fight TV. That's an app on my smart TV. I don't want that shit neither. They know how to get money out you. Now, when the Zone came out in the beginning, I actually subscribed to them. When they kind of ran, tucked tail and ran back to England, I kept the Zone. Because I said, you just never know. Now, I will say about the zone, when they have fights on, you'll probably only know the main event, right? You may even know the co-main. But the little fights under the main event, they actually be good fights. They actually be good little nuggets. You will enjoy yourself if you are a boxing fan. Is the fights good enough on the zone that I can say, hey, stop what you're doing and go order the zone? Hell to the knees off. I couldn't tell you no shit like that. But I had got it. I wasn't missing whatever I'm paying on it. Whatever the bottom line price was back then, because I heard it kind of went up. I'm still paying the same when they first came out. That hasn't changed for me. But I'm telling y'all, take notice of that. Now all of a sudden Bob using the hell out this app. You know, but he never did that with Terence Crawford. Only Terence Crawford. Now, how is it gonna be a success? You build an app for one fighter, please. And just so y'all know, Pedraza is the reason for the postponement. Not clear if it is COVID-19. He's ill, but nobody would say what it is. I was like, I hope the nigga don't got the heebie-jeebies. I don't know what he got, but they if they won't say is whether or not it's COVID or not, I'm like, well, what you got, dog? Do you got Omicron, the variant, COVID, Ebola? What the fuck you got? They won't speak about it. Yesterday I was supposed to give an update on Cambosos, and I'll do it today. He says he's fighting in May. Now this is what he said. He's calling out the month of May. He's either gonna fight Haney or Lomachenko. When I read that, I said either. Either. It should be one. Y'all know who it's supposed to be. I don't hear no shit about no damn either. And see, that's Bob trying to make his move. Bob is very strategic. When Bob wants something, he can get it. He's very strategic. He's been doing this shit for a long time. And I don't know how he inserted Lomachenko in. I don't know how you come off a loss and then win a couple of like no-name fighters. Because Comey apparently since Teofimo ain't even been the same. But in that fight before that, come on now. But he come off those two little wins, and somehow he's in contention for all three belts. Why? Because you had him before. Loma running around here saying it's mine, 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 mine. That's where he's messing up with the either or. Like I said, if it ain't Haney, then you fall for the BS, and your credibility is going to be shot. And I'm talking about Camboso. Camboso, again, y'all, this is why T.O. said the things he said. If you read, I read all the time. I read all these articles. Every time that you hear them talk about Cambosos, he is a motherfucking undefeated. He's a 4-belt champion. It's like, what? That's a good one right there when you hear him say he's a 4-belt champion. He does have 4 belts, but he ain't got the right motherfucker. He ain't got the right puzzle piece. That's Devin Haney. You talking about that WBC, but then you got the WBC franchise. And so Cambosos hasn't. Cambosos hasn't come out, y'all notice, and said whether or not he requested the damn franchise belt. We know he had to. That's how it's supposed to go down in the books. Or did they change the rule and say you can win it in a fight? What happened? You know, Mauricio moved that goalpost for Mexican fighters, but I'm sure just to put the chokehold on the black fighters, it's a conspiracy going on for sure in boxing these days. It's getting wicked. It's been wicked. It's getting wickeder, if that's a word. I just made it a word. Haney is the next logical step, and boxing fans should not accept nothing less. If Cambosos try to roll up in this mud with somebody other than Haney, we should all flip the proverbial boxing table over. Nobody should buy that fight. I told you after that Tim Smith article, if you're not Bud Crawford or Deontay Wilder, I'm not buying no more fights. I don't have to buy no fights with the zone because I have it. I don't have to buy no fights to come on Showtime for free because I have it and I got Fox and I got ESPN and I got ESPN Plus. So I don't have to buy nothing but pay per view. Done. Until Earl Spence and Bud Crawford fight, which they will not this year, I guess I'm not buying no damn pay per view. I don't need to. I see the fights when I can. I'll go to a sport bar. I'll go over to somebody's house. They be like, damn, T, we ain't seen you in a long time. Hey, here go my vaccination card. I'm good, right? Can I come in? I know you got to fight. That's how I'm going to be. What's up, player? My cousin Pete. Little cousin Pete. Remember? I ain't seen you in a long time, cousin Pete. What y'all watching tonight? As if I don't know. That's what I'm going to be doing. The fight gonna go down in Australia, of course. Camboso kind of earned the right for everybody to fly down under. So the fight gonna go down there. The fans want Haney, and that's the logical step. It would be for undisputed, and that's the logical step. What are you in the fight game for if you don't want to be undisputed? It will make the most money, I believe so. Devin is truly his own boss. Devin and them could come up with the funds. If it's way too much, Eddie can come up with the funds. Devin and them could definitely put on that fight. It could be in Australia. Devin don't mind going there and it'll make money. If George wins, he will be a big name going forward and could make a demand in his pay and fights, future fights. It's a win-win for all of them. Either one of them win that fight, they are the man at 135. They can make demands, they can make money. I mean, the sky is the limit. But George Cambosos know that when whoever his first defense is, he's food. He knows that. So he's trying to cash out. I don't blame him for trying to cash out, but you better cash out fairly and make some sense when you cash out. The fans don't want Loma. We don't want Loma. If Loma and George fight, I would not be watching that fight. I'm not. I'm not even gonna waste my time and energy. Cause then yet again, you have greatness at the graphs and you choosing to walk away from it. Right now we have a 168 undisputed champion in Canelo. Although it pains me to say those words. And then at 140 we got Josh Taylor. And now we could have either Devin Haney or George Cambosos as an undisputed champion. That's 3 at one time. And let's not forget Usyk and whoever he gonna fight after he do his rematch with AJ. If these people don't grab them shits and let's get this show on the road and get people back into boxing and liking boxing and spending money on boxing, I'm telling you, my pocket's gonna feel much better. I spend about close to at least $250 to $300 a month on boxing. I won't be doing that no more. Now, am I gonna get the fights? Am I gonna check them out so I can give you accurate reporting? Yeah. If I wind up seeing a highlight, I'll tell you guys it's a highlight. I wouldn't lie to you. I'm like, I saw the highlights. But if I'm able to see the fights, and I'm sure I will, because I know too many people who definitely get the fights. And there's bars that play the fight. I will be up at night when I normally don't, because shit be late over here on the East Coast, and I'll make sure I see the fights. But T to T is not doing what she usually do. Thank you, Tim Smith. Y'all can thank PBC. That's who I'm thanking. Hey, Daddy. Thank you, PBC. So the fans don't want Loma. Not proving it's a big money. Loma cannot prove that it's a big money fight. There's no metric or gauge to judge him on because he's never had a pay per view. So how can anybody say he's guaranteed money in the bank? Because nobody can know that. I'm not saying I'm not trashing him. I'm saying he has never done it. So here's a person who's done it and been successful. Here's a person who didn't do it and haven't been successful because he hasn't done it. Now, if he done it, it would that wouldn't even for me it wouldn't even be a factor, because Lomo has his fans. But we know that Haney is going to draw. If it's about the money, then you want Haney. If it's about the glory and the legacy of it all, then you want Haney. You're not getting that with Lomachenko. With Lomachenko, you're not gonna get no undisputed. You won't get that, and you cannot guarantee what he would do pay per view because that would be this first one if it was a pay per view. So we kind of know what it'll be with Haney, and it is his turn, and it's the only logical step next. You know, the problem is Lomachenko will beat the brakes off. I think he would beat the brakes off of George Cambosa worse than Devin would. At least Devin, you might got a chance. You might got a chance. And as you say, George, you've seen a lot of holes in Devin situation. So go on and exploit that. But Lomachenko, you gonna think 5 people in the ring with you when he get done with you. And you won't have a name because you're gonna lose your belts and you're gonna be a distant memory. That's what you'll be in these boxing streets. But I'll keep y'all posted on what's going on with that because we're looking hard at that to make sure that that goes down. And the last piece of news I have for you guys, Conor Ben still claims he wants AB, Mikey Garcia, and Danny Garcia. Smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. You guys can call in. The phone lines are open. If we don't hear it ring, then go ahead and say something in the chat. Hey, let's see. I'm calling, but we don't hear it. 706-804-4449. I put the link in the chat so you guys can chime in if you want to. And as always, we had an interesting week. Miss T made a declarative statement on your boy Spence. I don't dislike Spence. I just, based on everything that's going on and based on all the past and what has happened, I just had to call it. So if y'all want to beat me up and come in and say your piece, you are more than welcome to. I'll sit back and I'll listen. Maybe you'll learn me something. And this thing with the Conor being, I always say, why AB? Well, we know AB been out for a while. AB should not fight you coming back. AB seriously would need a tune up. We don't even know who AB is trying to fight. We know that he's not even trying to fight in Conor Ben's weight class. So why even ask? I think Mikey Garcia learned this lesson, taking his ass up there to 147, talking about I see something when he fought Earl Smith. Why even ask for Mikey? Eddie Hearn is probably fed up with Mikey. Eddie Hearn paid Mikey a grip on his last outing, and he got beat by an unknown fighter out of Spain. He got thorough the fuck off, and he got paid a grip. He should have just fought Regis, but he was trying to be slick. It's when cherry picking goes wrong. That's what that is. They were a name. They were notable at one time. Like I said, ABA fought in a while. And how I look at it, talk about ring rust for AB. That's gonna be some serious ring rust. We're not sure if AB is all the way there mentally anyway. He has some mental issues. Like, not like he was crazy. He was going through some stuff. I don't know if it was trauma or I don't know what it was, but mentally, he has to get himself all the way back. Mikey on the money grab. Ain't nobody say nothing wrong with that. But Mikey, if that's what you doing, we as the fans can choose whether or not we need to be going and lining your pockets with the money grab too. And I don't think that's what we want to do. And after Mikey's last debacle, like I said, Eddie ain't sure if he want to invest in him. Now Danny Garcia, that's actually a good idea. Danny Garcia is contemplating going up to the 154 division. I don't think Danny's ready because I mean, I'm searching my mind. I'm trying to give Danny the benefit of the doubt. I don't know anybody he can beat up there, and not alone the top five. And you know, Danny, you have a status, okay? You was the shitsnick at 140. You moved up to 147. You can be great now. You can get it back, Danny. You can get it back. All you got to do is go back to whatever that made you great in the first place. I have faith in Danny that he can bring it back. But Connor Ben, that would be more like a notable partner for you. Everybody can get paid decently. Danny is still a name. He still gets decent pays. You won't waste your money at it because Danny is definitely gonna fight him. And Connor Ben, that little, you know, aggressive, come forward, throwing haymakers. You better have something else you can do when you start going up on the upper echelon of fighters. If you are 147 and your goal is to get a title, you need to be calling out the Boots of the world. You need to be calling out the Virgil Ortiz of the world. Why? Because none of y'all got belts. And none of y'all are the top right now. And the top is concentrating on the top. So y'all need to make sure y'all be the top of the people under the top. That's what y'all need to do. But Danny is that's a good fight. Eddie can justify paying Danny a decent purse and not feel cheated. And I believe that he can. Danny is going to bring a crowd. Connor Ben, you could ask for Keith Thurman. That's a good fight too. To get you prepared for a top-notch about with a champion, because Keith is a former champion. He knows what it takes to gain belts and stay up there for a minute. Those are two I can see you getting with Connor. Anything else is it's like you talking crazy. Nobody's If I didn't already have the zone, I would feel cheated if I had to buy the zone to see some shit like that. Like I say, Danny has a good showing. He will always have one. I know he says he's moving up, but he still got some work to do. He still can do some things. And Danny, you can actually come back and fight EJ or Bud. You haven't fought Bud yet. And then you got Boots there. I mean, I don't know, Philly might have a problem. I don't think Boots would, but both of them from Philly. But you got Virgil Ortiz. You got other people you can fight, Danny. In my opinion, Danny will wash Connor Ben. So I would like to see that fight. Plus, Connor says he is still trying to prepare himself for a good title. Now, yeah, and every time I read that, I was like, your actions don't show you're preparing yourself for a title. Your actions show you're trying to build, Eddie's building you up to make money by attaching your name with the top welterweights names in the division, hoping that every time you fight, that people gonna be like, yeah, that Conor Ben, y'all need to fight Conor Ben. Nice try, Eddie. It's not gonna work. It really ain't gonna work. So I think for Danny, that's a step in the right direction. I think for Connor, that would be a step in the right direction. And if it ain't Danny, Boots or Keith Thurman, and I don't say that in no particular order, either one of them, Connor Ben, that's who you need to be trying to fight. Get Mikey Garcia and AB out your mind, because I don't know who's gonna watch that. I mean, I can watch it. It's gonna be on the zone, so I got the zone. But nobody's gonna be trying to break their neck to see that. You're gonna be a laughing stock. Because if you fight AB and you struggle, then we already know you ain't shit. Not nothing to do with AB, because AB been out for 3 years. And you struggle with Granados, who's at the tail end of his career. I ain't saying his career over, but we know Granados is not what he was 7, 8 years ago. And you struggled with him. And the world noticed. So if you're really trying to prepare yourself for a world title, you better holler at Keith, Danny, or who was the other one I had said, or Boots, or even Virgil. If you don't holler at those guys, Connor, you're wasting your time. But Connor is, however, he is slated to fight either Robert Guerrero, which I'm all right with it. Robert's still fighting. He was a name. Or Maurice Hooker, which I'm okay with that too. So Eddie's probably gonna get one of those two guys. I think if there's a small part of me that feel like Connor is doing that Ryan Garcia shit. We got to come up with a good name for that. Well, another man attaching his name to another man's name in progress just to boost him up. Like, what kind of name could we attach to a person like that? Where it's like highly recognizable and stuff like that. Y'all have any ideas? I'm gonna actually give that a concerted effort to try to find a name for that that's real, that just rolls off the tongue. Now, we talked a lot about the Rolly situation yesterday, and nobody had a problem with that I know about from what I said, but I just want to make it clear. If somebody says they was abused, you have to for me, I feel like you have to believe them first. You trust, but you verify. Meaning, and that means you trust them, but you still do your due diligence. I do believe that every American is due process. I can hate you. You could have done something really, really bad to me, but either we believe in the legal system or we don't. And I think that people should have their due process. I'm a big proponent of fairness. I get upset when fairness don't go down, whether it's for me or for somebody else. For instance, what happened to Rolly when he's supposed to have that fight on December 5th, that was not fairness. That wasn't. We had his opponent had similar issues. Their promoters had similar issues. When I'm talking about just being aggressive in any kind of way with a woman. And they get in their due process, or they had their due process. The one thing that's hard to do to somebody, or I know that some people don't ever get over, is when you have to face consequences for something you didn't do. And right now, Rolly was found to not, be guilty of anything. And I said like that, meaning there was never any charges. Um, is he a creep or pervert? Probably is. But there was never any charges. Um, so he wasn't like found innocent because he never went to court. He didn't. There wasn't enough. They didn't have standing. The opposing party did not have standing to take Rolly Romero to court, and that says a lot. However, I do want to be clear here at Boxing Fans Talk TV. We are not saying that the women lied or didn't tell the truth, or what they say happened did happen or didn't happen. We were not there. My whole issue is that this is a dangerous type of situation to play with to me, because you're talking about a person's life, their livelihood, and you can't recuperate back off of things. Some things in life you just can't recoup, and nor should you be put in that predicament. If you don't want that ever done to you, you should never do it to nobody else. We should never play games, not with this, because there are real victims. That was one problem. Number two, he was held accountable in the court of public opinion. He was found guilty in the court of public opinion, which he shouldn't have been. And he was held accountable. But other athletes, period, not just boxers, could have similar situation and the beat will go on. But it didn't go on for him. That right there is flag on the play for me. I'm not even a Rolly fan. I'm not big on Rolly. I like him. He cool. But I'm not big on him or anything. But if we're gonna be fair, we got to be fair. That's the only way it can make sense. And we talking about boxing, so I have to talk about what I thought that wasn't fair. He was held accountable, even though he never got due process. That's not fair. If we're gonna do people like that, we got to be across the board with that. So I just want to make sure that that was clear. That no, I'm not downing or discrediting what those women said happened or didn't, because I wasn't there, and I cannot be one of the people to be like, Rolly is a weasel. But you don't want to open that door when you just start saying, yeah, he probably did it. He looked like it, he did. Nah, I would never do shit like that. Because I wouldn't want it done to me. I'm telling you, when people do unfair, dirty shit, take something from you, or make you lose something, or make you derail your progress, and you work so hard over some superficial shit, or some shit that is not substantiated, or some shit that don't have standing. Now I included a whole lot of shit in there. And all of that, the superficial part is not the girls that accuse Rody. I'm not including that. Their part is the standing. They didn't have standing. But the superficial was like some fugazi shit, or when charges cannot be brought because there is no standing. You have to give people due process. We're gonna have to embrace that, become one with it, because that's the country we live in. So the law justice is supposed to be blind, but it's slow as a motherfucker. I do know that. But in that case, I just want to be clear, because that was a touchy subject. I don't play with that subject. It's not funny games to me. And Rolly is already acting out. He'll learn. He'll learn today, or he'll learn tomorrow. In any case, when you know better, you do better. And I'm out of here. Peace.